man black, me no brown, me no white. Nasty Babylon stripe, you mad? Yeah man. Don't try to resist this metamorphosis. Right yourself with Iman Blak. Listen to Iman. Step aside, slash ya.
This is Marogini. Salut, messieurs, mesdames. Vous êtes en train d'écouter Metamorphosis avec Dr. Iman Blak.
People moving out, people moving in. Why? Because of the color of the skin. Run, 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 but you sure can't hide. An eye for an eye, a tooth for a tooth. Both for me, and I'll set you free. Rap on, brother, rap on. Well, the only person talking about love now, brother, is the preacher.
From a cocoon to a butterfly, metamorphosis.
There is a light far, far away, where there's no night.
People of the world into one vast organization to plant the banner of freedom on the great continent of Africa. If Europe is for Europeans, then Africa is for the black peoples of the world. Men and women as black as I am, and even more so, had believed themselves right under West Indian order of society. I was simply an impossible man to use openly the term Negro, yet everyone beneath its breath was calling the black man a nigger. I had to decide whether to please my friends and be one of the black whites of Jamaica and be reasonably prosperous, or come out openly and help improve and protect the integrity of the black millions and suffer. I decided to do the latter. There is no future for a people who deny their path. My foreparents, my grandparents, my mother and father did not suffer and die to give me an education to oppress, slight, or discourage my people. Whatsoever education I acquired out of their sacrifice of over 300 years, I shall use for the salvation of the 400 million Negroes of the world. And the day when I forsake my people, may God Almighty say there shall be no more life for you. I unequivocally rejected the racist assumptions of much white American Christianity, namely that God had created the black man inferior and that he had intended Negroes to be a servant class. He was a wooden drawers of water. I predicated my view of man and the doctrine of Imago Dei. All men regardless of color were created in the image of God.
So many things that's held us down, but now it looks like things are finally coming around. I know we've got a long, long way to go, and where we'll end up, I don't know. But we won't let nothing hold us back. We're putting ourselves together, we're polishing up our act. If you've ever been held down before, I know you refuse to be held down anymore. Stand in your way. I want you to listen to every word I say, every word I say. Ain't no stopping us now. We're on up. Ain't no stopping
caterpillar to a butterfly. The metamorphosis is here. It's live. Metamorphosis.
Metamorphosis, word, sound and power, music, drumming, current affairs, everything to grow and lift up your mind. Metamorphosis.
Metamorphosis, creating beauty and stimulating change from a constant supply of relevant knowledge and information.
Cause we've been trying on your mind's much too long.
No more youths and youths for sale. We get wise and don't decide to change their style. Bobby wrong, keep your empty promises and your crooked smile. Metamorphosis, come with your thoughts. Change your way of thinking. Metamorphosis, the change begins with you.
Metamorphosis, Black men of Ethiopia, Timbuktu, Alexandria, gave the light of civilization to this world. Ethiopia shall stretch forth our hands unto God, and princes shall come out of Egypt.
I, son of the Most High, Jah Rastafari.
Keep listening. science. Highly, 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 highly. Ah, boy, you never want me forever burning. And you see when the tables turn, me say I love her, I and I preaching. So every land of hate will burn.
Metamorphosis.
Chastise in a Jesus' name. Wonder if me crazy, wonder if me sane. But the whole of Rome I go up in a flame. And no nothing for me walk in a Rome and start a fire, start a fire. And I know nothing for me walk in a Rome and start a fire, start a fire. God them I wonder how a little African I go burn down the whole in a Vatican. But I know nothing for me walk in a Rome. Start a fire, start a fire. We a go home, the whole demographic. And when me talk, I mean no hypocritic. When you say Rome, I eat no geographic. But if I you feel wear the cap, then I you with a fit. When me say Rome, me a talk about lion. I the Selassie, I the power of the triad. The eagle and the dragon and the bear a spit fire. But them can't overthrow the conquering lion. Say now, listen to the voice of Javi.
Shall not enter this whole land. We wise and human stand sipping from the helpful cup of peace. Not one shall enter, not one. Your people shall not enter this whole land. We wise and human stand sipping from the cup of peace. You chant down no Babylon. You chant down no Babylon. You chant down no Babylon. Chant down no Babylon. Give thanks and praise. Give thanks and praise. Give thanks and praise. Give thanks and praise to the whole man of creation.
Tinastilin, greetings, Sata Masagana. Hail, all listeners, give thanks for another connection. That's FM, Metamorphosis. I'm your host, I'm Dr. Iman Blak. Here on the 4th of July, when the people of North America, the white people, celebrate their day of conquering, of escaping from their brothers in England. Cousins fighting against brothers brings America their independence, organization of 13 colonies. We explore that. We explore behind the scenes of the Great World War of football. We explore the attack as perceived by the Christians and the church. No to buggery. Metamorphosis. Yes, I want to just go right into the essence of I reasoning because matters to I seem pressing. I was saying that the World War of football is now at its critical stage. But I also said that there had to be some activities that were taking place behind this football that would become very evident when the war was over. And apparently, forces couldn't wait. And while the football war was going on, there was a major war taking place in this island. It's a war at the level of the morality. It's a war at the level of the will and the war at the level of the spirit. And it was actually they are shaking up of the church. The Christian church hit the headlines, hit the roads, mass protests against an assault. An assault that is not only on sexual orientation, but at a deeper level, this goes beyond the Bible. This assault goes beyond what the Bible says. It goes into the DNA of black people. If you look at this attack very seriously, where did these forces come from? How come they are so powerful now in this time? In the plantation days, these forces were not so imminent and obvious. Suddenly there are some forces that are now driving their ideology through this earth. And more so in and amongst black people, amongst African people, who are now being forced to accept certain type of styles of life, or maybe more like styles of dying. Metamorphosis, we're going to look into what is this all about. What is this thing called buggery? Remember that you them to say you like a bugger you? Never really know what it meant. Now this thing called buggery is a serious thing. There are forces being attempting to remove this law off the books that have been there from the 1500s. So we're going to explore this, the depth of this law and the history of this behavior, and try to speak to the issue of whether these are learned behaviors or whether they are genetic, because there are schools of thought that people are born in these certain ways with these certain type of orientation. There's another school of thought who says that these people learn these behavior. And as black people now need to sort out our own understanding of this thing. So we don't just take aside because of the power that says it. We need our own understanding. What is the history of this thing called homosexuality? Where it come from? How is the genesis of that? Is it something cultural? And I don't hear the Chinese complaining much about those type of behaviors. But in the Western world, we're having all these sort of unnatural activities being defined now as sex and sexuality. So the metamorphosis will plunge into that level of identity, sorting out amongst our own selves as black people. How do we accept or do we reject these styles of meditation? Is this not a direct attack upon the sanctity of the African unity, which is embedded into the unity of the female and the male for procreation purposes? This is a very serious thing going on. And people are criticizing the church for not standing up against other issues. But this one goes beyond the laws of the biblical God. And then I will explore it within the metamorphosis.
I and I don't make up I and I mind to go through the same thing like I and I forbearance go through. No people die, cry blood, Africa, cry blood. Cry blood, Africa, cry blood. Cry blood. Africa, saying that they will die, my sister. They were so cry blood. Come this day to set such foundation, upon foundation in foundation. If anyone should trouble, cry blood. Cry Africa, cry blood.
So the African people within their Christendom rise up against this attack. This attack now is being led by forces that are organized themselves into groups, falling under categories that define themselves as LGBT. This is not a law firm. This is a group of people who have now linked up under this body called LGBT. Lesbians, gays, bisexuals, transvestites. These are groups of persons who have been organizing themselves and been pushing a certain agenda. We shall call this agenda the gay agenda. And this agenda has caught our attention. Though I am tend to sort of ignore some of these things as they occur. But this one now is putting itself on the front. That I have to know, deal with it, since it makes itself so obvious. This movement that is trying to penetrate the fibers of Jamaican society. And the fibers mean the cultural idiosyncrasies and nuances of African people, considering that the population here is 95% African. So there are some people now who have been gathering forces locally and internationally. And it came to a head here in Jamaica now last week Sunday when the Christian community had to hit the roads to protest strongly against the attempt by these groups. So I want to look now into where these people come from. How them get so powerful, and what is it them really defending? What is it they're trying to teach? What is it that is being slipped into the curriculum that our children are now reading things that are rejected at the cultural level but now are being forced into the students' brains? You know, literature forcing them to accept behavior that is not culturally natural. So powerful works are at work. And it is a serious attempt to destabilize and maybe even put to extinction the race of people now we're calling Africans. Because the church in its opposition is not just about what the Bible says. I think this thing goes deeper into the psyche of I as a people. I realize that what is being threatened is not about choice of sexual orientation. What is being threatened is actually the extinction of the race is under threat. And I'm going to explain to them why this is so. Because we shall come to that understanding when we explore first and foremost who are these people, how long they have been here, and how is it ancient Indian, Oriental, and African cultures were never bothered by these groups of people. How this behavior suddenly emerged, and is it being driven by a higher agenda? Yeah, the gay movement. What is so significant about GAY? What makes these people gay? Look in the dictionary, gives you the meaning of happy. So what is so special about these people? Why they are always happy? Is it that they're always happy? So there's a serious threat going on. It's actually a war. It's a war for the mind of black people now and the youths. It's an attempt to tamper with identity, to tamper with sexuality, and to shift the paradigms of our unity that keeps a race in a oneness Serious assault going on. So we're going to explore this thing called sodomy. What is sodomy? What are sodomy laws? Why had these laws had to be brought in place? We don't know of those laws in Africa, and I don't know of those laws in Asia, nor in India. Sodomy laws. These are European constructs. So I will argue that a lot of this behavior is grounded in culture. Much of this behavior that we see happening around us is driven by culture. And I have to begin to identify what is natural culture and what is alien culture. And make those distinctions clear and manifest them in behavior. Metamorphosis, exploring the rise of the gay movement and their powers and influence that has forced the church to come to the streets in protest of the buggery. Yeah, we're going to wake up and think out our way out of this conundrum that we are placed in. And I'm not so comfortable in our upbringing to speak about issues of sexuality, much less homosexuality. Yeah, it's a kind of thing that you talk about in a whisper. But reach a level in Jamaica now wherein the public need to have a clear understanding as to what this thing is about and what are the implications for your society when you allow certain of your behaviors to be conditioned in certain ways. So, the whole power struggle now in this rock, Rastafari never really connect himself to them kind of debate and discussion, because it's always defined as things of Rome or what man want to call Babylon things. But you see, through the thing I get so complicated and small, and I have to pay attention to what these forces are. So, personally, this force that is now up upon us, called the gay lobby, it has done much damage to enough of our entertainers in their movements through the earth to earn their money. because they have put a kind of lid down on what you can say and what you must not say. So powerful is this group now. But my personal connection and experience now with these people now is my days in college in the United States. Because I went to college in the Bronx, 70s. And I was part of the Caribbean Student Association, and we had to negotiate with the school board for money to put on functions. Well, I can tell you now, the club on my campus that was the biggest club was the gay club. Yeah, the gay club was the biggest club on the campus, and it was the most powerful club. It had the most money. And the gay club actually forced the Caribbean Students Association to come send representation to one of their gay parties to show that we weren't discriminating in order to get some money. So these groups of people have had a certain amount of influence for quite a little while. As I said, personally, I know about this group on the college campus from the 70s. Even the mayor of New York at one time declared that I am gay. So it is something that I recognize from that time was within the white man culture of America. That became evident why, because coming out of my Caribbean estate and experience, and I never really have that as anything to uphold or anything to glorify. We usually bond that, even as youth. We just find it was filthy. So to reach a certain level now and see this concept of tolerance being taught, and that people must now become tolerant, I have begun to learn tolerance, because they try to teach us now on college campuses. So you must learn to live and let people do what they want to do. So all kind of things go on. So the gay movement has been there in America, and it has been generating its own power and energy, and it has been pushing its ideology for quite a while. But things and times have changed, because technology now has caused things to become closer and information move quicker. And all of a sudden now, island like Jamaica, we find that now we are being overpowered by these external forces, that they're now trying to define how we must behave amongst each other sexually, which suggests a sort of tampering with the whole process of procreation. So I'm wondering now if the agenda has changed, because this was never part of the agenda of the gay people in the early 1970s. And if you trace that whole experience that I uncovered while in America as a white man, European thing, you can trace the history of homosexuality within the culture of Europe. And you're going to find that it goes as far back as into the days of Greece. That homosexuality was a natural part of Grecian behavior, where men, it was natural to have a young boy, and the boy would grow with that young man until he began to grow a beard, while that man would indoctrinate him into all sort of behavior. We have to look at the genesis of this force that is now bringing out reaction and resistance right here on the rock. Yes, African people, it's time to recollect our own story, our own knowledge of our own sexuality, that we don't get caught up into these confused gender issues. I know of male and female. As it relates to gender, we know of 3 genders: male, female, masculine, feminine, and neuter. Neuter gender is what we call it. Things that are neither masculine nor feminine. Piece of board, a rock stone. These things have neither masculine nor feminine properties. We call them it. So I out of our own story and our own culture. We have to turn to culture now to help us to resolve this decision-making process. We have to turn to culture. And we have to turn to African culture. We cannot rest upon European culture to resolve the conflicts that we face. That by itself is a war. In other words, we've always been engaged in a culture war. And right now it's about sexuality. It's about orientation. It's about the projection of family and procreation, which is a fundamental activity in the black population. So we see now that we'll ask ourselves now along the line of identity. What are we? What are we? You have to answer first along the line of your gender. Are you male or are you female? And we look at the full biology of ourselves. You're either or you're either. And there are some who hold both sets of organs. So the physiological structure, the biological makeup of I sets us into that framework. Male, female. And along with those biological structures come functions. The female, the male, that in their collaboration, they recreate themselves. And so the race is propagated. This is a function that we should never lose sight of. And this function goes into our anciency, into our biological makeup, long before the writings of any biblical scripture. So this is not religion. This is biology. This is black biology. This is African physiology. So within the realm of identity, we have to hold on to either being male or being female. The challenge in this time now is that there are groups of people who are undergoing all sorts of operations and transformations within their own selves and are now redefining themselves. And that redefinition now is creating chaos and confusion in the thinking process of enough black youths. So what it's all about now is a group of persons who some claim that they have changed their sexual identity. They are no longer male. They have now chosen to be female. Apples becoming oranges. There are females who are claiming that they are males. And there are those who don't understand what they are. And within that misunderstanding, orientation becomes even more difficult. So we're having all these type of groups of persons emerging, calling themselves lesbians, gays, bisexuals, and transgendered. African people and Rastafari need some clarity in identifying I and I self. We know ourselves as Africans. We know that we are males or females, kings or queens, prince or princesses. There's an attempt to confuse. And the campaign is on. The campaign is strong. But the genesis of this behavior shows that it is not necessarily, there's no great evidence to show that this behavior is born with. We're going to show historically that is a cultural behavior. And that certain cultures just simply reject that behavior. The Grecians, the Greeks, the foundation of European culture. Yeah, we're going to look into the behavior of the Greeks. Plato, Aristotle, What was it they glorified in terms of sexuality? Metamorphosis. We need to have a timeline in our meditation as we look at this behavior. The ancient Egyptians, the ancient Africans, the ancient people from Mali. Nowhere in the writings of these cultures we hear about same-sex behavior. Yeah, we don't have any of that evidence to say that amongst the ancient Chinese, the ancient Indians, and the ancient African people, there was any such concept as same-sex love. But when we get into the genesis and the origins of Greece, and Greece now is considered to be the starting point of European civilization, because the Greeks got most of their knowledge, if not all, about sciences and technologies out of Africa. But the behavior that they conducted themselves within sexually is a different thing. Because the Africans always spoke about the male and the female. Even within the cosmology, there's always a god and a goddess. There was never a moment in time when these were separated or isolated, always moving in tandem. But what we find happening now is that within the development of the Greek culture, there is this feelings that would develop amongst the white men, amongst themselves, and they would begin to define this feeling as love. It is written about by Herodotus, it's written by Plato. And they define same-sex love as a relationship between an adult man and an adolescent boy. This is a genesis of this behavior. But they're trying to convince us today that people are born with it. We want to show the item that this behavior has been a part of a culture, of a people, from as far back as the days of the Greeks. And so this was a glorified way to behave. And within this relation, there was a penetrator, and there was a one who was penetrated. There was the active, and there was the passive. So the psychology was also there of the submissive and the dominant. So we find that the Greeks were known for their behavior, and they call it pederasty, P-E-D-E-R-A-S-T-Y. They had a language to describe this type of behavior. And these boys would stay with that man until they grew a beard. Now, this Grecian behavior, it is so noted, comes out of an ancient tribal culture of the Greeks, early tribal Greek past. So there is this behavior in the Grecian society that promotes same sex, same men, man and man. In the African tradition, there is not much documentation of this being a lifestyle, of this being promoted as a way of life. So the behavior is ancient in European culture. So buggery, when we talk about buggery now, we're moved up the line and we're getting into ancient England, where laws now are being created. And of course, there are the laws of sodomy. We have to check it out carefully now, and see that what is it is being pushed on us now. Is it something about rights? Is it about rights? Or is it about an ideology? An attempt to final assault on the African integrity? Because we know king and queen. We know prince and princess. We don't understand how Tom and John can be father and mother of an adopted child. Confusion. African people, we try to separate ourselves from the story of the Bogars. Our story is a different tradition. It is a lifestyle that has been now introduced and forced upon us. But it is well developed within the European cultural context. Well developed. Because in the 1533, there was an act called the Buggery Act. The Buggery Act. 1533. When this thing going on, you know, African people under heavy siege from the Spanish and the colonizers, you know. This was during the reign of Henry VIII, a Buggery Act of 1533. And it claimed that buggery was an unnatural sexual act, which included penetrating anal and bestiality. Anal penetration and bestiality. These things were considered buggery during the reign of Henry VIII. Now, African people have nothing to do with this now, you know. We're not connected to this story. We are chattel slaves, ripped out of the womb of Africa and brought into this Western plantation. We don't know nothing about no same-sex love, you know. We don't know about no transgendered and no lesbian and no homo. We have none of that within our culture. We have none of that within our DNA memory system. This is going to be injected into I and I. And it's reaching a point now wherein there is great resistance now on this rock. If there is nowhere else on the planet Earth where there's going to be resistance to this behavior, it's going to be right here. And it is the church who seemingly has put them forward, not simply because buggery is an act against God, but it's an act against the sanctity and the divinity of the African Union, which is the male and the female in oneness. That is the depth of the pain. And the ones on the outside don't understand it because they have an agenda. And the agenda seems to have changed much from its inception in the early days. So, this behavior was also very prevalent in the military. And it was used by the Grecian soldiers for camaraderie, where they would show love and express homosexual behaviors and have sexual interactions with the men, having relations with men for friendship and love in the military. And it has not changed much within the military. The Boy Scout movement, recent in America, free up those type of people to be amongst all of those boys. So Obama had to remain along the lines of staying in power by freeing up those people to have rights, as they call it. So there's a serious movement going on. Serious movement, and it's all about attacking the sexuality and the reproductive processes and the naturality amongst African people. I don't see much complaint among the Chinese. Chinese seem to have them house in order. It seems to be an assault on the sexuality of black people. 4531444. If I'm wrong, you can text me. Metamorphosis.
Here's to the DJ still letting you all know that the artist rhythm now, the general science is now available on iTunes and Amazon for sale. Get your copy now or just log on to www.stylesfm.com. Click on the general science banner, it will take you straight to iTunes where you can make your purchase, alright? Loud.
With Styles FM on the go, you can listen to your favorite programs by calling the USA number 213-992-4360. If you're in the UK, is 033-0010-3322.
Styles FM presents its first annual Fan Fusion Party. Episode 1, Saturday, July 12, 2014. Bayview Villas, Waterfront Property, Dolphin Bay, Portland. Party starts at 6 p.m. Come out early and enjoy it all. Admission, $300 with flyer, $400 without, and $500 with flyer and a friend. Spinning on the wheels of steel will be DJ Mookie, Fire Greg, King Mitchell, DJ Jagga, Crown Prince, Digital T, Colin Anthony, and DJ Stain. Hosted by Lady Cleo, Lady Natasha, and Captain Baker. Remember, don't lose your flyer. No flyer, no chance. Party location, Bayview Villas, Waterfront Property, Dolphin Bay, Portland.
Planning a party? Club night out, stage show, a gospel concert, or even a business sales event? Let Styles FM be a part of your promoting tool. Take advantage of our low-priced promotion packages with commercials, interviews, giveaways, reviews, and much more. We have special offers when you mix and match and bundle your options. Contact us at 876-286-9216 or 439-5160. Styles FM for the most effective way to exploit your marketing dollar.
From the west of the Miracle Bridge to the east of the Miracle Bridge, here's the hottest Java.
question is now, who are these people? Who are the people who call themselves LBGT, lesbian, gays, bisexuals, and transgendered? Who are these people collectively? What is their makeup, number-wise, racially, financially? Who are these people? We know that the movement really started out as a social movement. That it tried to advocate that they wanted full acceptance of people with their behavior. What does full acceptance mean? What does full acceptance mean? How can it have full acceptance when you're not fully within the natural order? There must be a little change. There must be some adjustment. So, for example, the concept of getting married. What is marriage? Is marriage a union of two individuals of any gender, or is marriage a union of a male and a female? These are issues that have to be resolved because people with power are using words and are reordering the world through ordering of words. The world is being reordered through the ordering of words. Word is sound and word is power. So we have these groups of people now that when we're looking into the story of where this whole behavior is coming from, there is no evidence of anything being genetic here. We've seen a cultural behavior coming through from the days of the early Grecian Empire, coming out of the tribal Greeks and their culture. It's a European, it's a white man thing. But we're getting it in such a way now that everybody now must be accepting this thing and it's being forced on everybody's throat. Things that are good people steal naturally. And you have to force down people's throat, like this agenda and democracy and these type of things, and Christianity. Anything you have to force down people's throat can't be all that good for them. So the people must stop and the people must think. In 1785, there was as a matter of fact, in the 18th and the 19th century, there was what you call sodomy laws. The penalty for buggery was death by hanging. This is how serious this thing was and is. The penalty at the time was death by hanging for buggery, because it was an unnatural act and still is not so natural. But the groups that have come together now have organized themselves and have developed a political ideology, seem to have an agenda now. And the agenda now is to control not just the rights, but seem as if they're moving into the realm of economics and politics and global movements. So what is it that I and I must do now as a heterosexual? God, they seem to be trying to battle lines, heterosexuals versus the rest. And anybody who speaks on behalf of heterosexuals are called anti-homosexuals. It's a world of war of words. And Rastafari and African people now must be conscious of this whole verbal struggle. These groups of people are trying to deconstruct and reconstruct masculinity and femininity. They're trying to redefine what is masculinity. And it's all along the lines of non-African traditions. So femininity now and masculinity now is being confused. That the male doesn't understand anymore what it is to be masculine. And you see masculine moving beings with feminine behavior. You may ask, what is feminine behavior? Well, we have to go to our culture. We have to go to our story. We have to see the dignity of the female. We have to look at the female in the context of her African settings. The Empress, Queen Nefertiti, Queen Makeda. We have to see the African woman in her glory. So, the resolution to this attack by these groups who claim that they are fighting for their rights, we have to take a stance. And it's very interesting that it is the church that is leading the resistance. People have been criticizing the church about why does the church take up this issue and not the issue of child molestation and other various activities. But this goes beyond just the law of God of sodomy. This goes deeper than just the destruction of the biblical sodomy, Sodom and Gomorrah. This goes to the destruction of black family values, the black family system. It goes to stopping the movement of the race. And we know that there's always been an agenda to depopulate and to control the African population. Many things have been tried before. This is high tech. Time to be alert. We give thanks for this segment, Al-Kibulan, our story, the people of Kemet. Here we find refuge in the reality of our own culture. Here we find no transgender, bisexual, lesbian, gay people. These people have not even been born yet. On the Nile Valley, where we sat amongst the gods and the goddesses. Yes, respecting femininity, respecting masculinity. Yeah, so this is so crucial that we keep Africa center of our consciousness as we become bombarded by Western ways of controlling and destabilizing meditation. So we know, of course, of Nile Valley culture. We know about the people of Kemet. We know about the blackness of the melanin. We know about the molecule pigment. Within that, we understand relations, and we understand the importance of family. Because family is the foundation of the nation. It is the foundation of the community, and by extension, the community is the foundation to the nation. So we must never lose sight of family. And once you keep your eye on the family, then you must keep your eye on the male and the female. Because the male and the female are the foundation links to any family system. So once African people recognize it now, black people, let's not get distracted by trying to set apples and oranges and put bananas where pear must go. Forget natural, remain in our naturality. So the family, the black family, is vital. And 2 weeks ago I had a sister in here, MBU, speaking about black woman and African tradition and Rastafari. And she was actually putting forward a notion, in my interpretation, that within black family structure, we have to reconsider the role of the female and reinterpret now what this whole thing about leadership should be. Is it that we have been conned by European thinking and training that it is the male that must be the leader? Is that a European meditation? Because coming out of the reason with the daughter, there seems to be some serious way of looking at the African family system with the female as the leadership. A sort of stability that the woman provides. And when we explore now the concept of matriarchy, we now see the African woman in her full glory. So matriarchy now is a system where the female is the leadership and where descent, it goes through her name. It's a whole different arrangement than what the Europeans have brought to us. Europeans come and flip everything around. And as the European come with the male egocentric chauvinism of being in control. And has imposed that ideology upon I and I. That enough black people have accepted that. That the black males now walking around talking about him is in charge. But if we re-examine the whole teaching now, and unlearning is the most difficult thing. But unlearning is painful and it is tedious. But let us look at the reality. That in the tradition of the Nile Valley culture and ancient African culture, the female was the center of the household, not just simply because of domestic purposes. But it's about power, it's about organization, it's about structure. And African family systems were stable when the woman was at the leadership role. The man, of course, would just simply maintain the power, maintain the balance, maintain the harmony, and provide a certain level of leadership in a balance. So if we re-examine this whole thing now, this whole African black man walking around beating up his chest about him is in charge. And the African woman who traditionally has been the power has been reduced. That she now end up fighting for power. So the thing must be re-examined. And we can't afford to be confused now by an agenda set by gay forces that are all about divisiveness and destructiveness, hitting at the foundation of African culture. We are Nile Valley people, and we shall not forget. Kimet. We say no to buggery. We say no to buggery.
Everybody just run comfortably, but Israel don't have it already. One a time for you get steady, cause everybody don't know Jaja already. Africa, we're coming to take it. Boy, 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 boy. Africa, here I come.
The Buggery Act of 1533 was an act of the Parliament of England that was passed during the reign of Henry VIII. It was the country's first civil sodomy law. Such offences having previously been dealt with by the ecclesiastic courts. The Buggery Act defined buggery as an unnatural sexual act against the will of God and man. This was later defined by the courts to include anal penetration and bestiality. The act remained in force until it was repealed and replaced by the Offences Against the Person Act in 1828. And buggery would remain a capital offence until 1861. The This is the history of those buggers. Yeah.
Africa, boy, here I come. Here is how we gonna take it. Take our tracks up to North Africa. Then we move down to South Africa. Make a move over West Africa. And then we end up in Ethiopia, man. Africa, boy. Oh, yeah, oh, yeah, oh, yeah. Here I come. We're coming to take it. Africa, boy. Hold on strong. Here I come. See the Israelite, them coming. When we go there, we now run. Jaja know say we are fit. Never run. When we go there, we now run. Jaja know say we are so. Africa, here I come. Here I come.
Yeah, the sexuality of African people should never be confused. It's always about male and female in community. No confusion, no distractions. I realize that in this unity, sexual energy is high. And sexuality is an important aspect of the African personality. I sexuality, which is linked to I imagination, which is our creative aspect of our being. So the whole notion of trying to discredit sexuality and reduce sexuality to a sin is a European construct to sort of suppress the powers and creativity of this African, the sexuality reflected in just simply the movement of the hips. You just look at the hips of an African woman and there are all sorts of sexual feelings that are generated naturally. So when the Pope and the church came into Africa and tried to suppress that, they tried to, first of all, at the religious level, to call sex a sin and to lock up sex into a story of damnation and curse. A story. So the sexuality of the African man has been sort of bottled up, making African people feel as though it's a shame to express their sexuality. The church came with them Roman Catholic behavior and suggested that all members of the clergy be celibate, means they must have no sex. So their sexual energies were redirected and diverted, and the behavior became obvious. Sexuality must flow. And so homosexuality became also a feature of the Roman Catholic Church. It was about all men gathering. And these men would vow not to engage themselves with females. No African would do that. No African people going to get up and vow them to disconnect themselves from females. The monks in the ancient hills of Ethiopia, searching for that higher meditation, would make that journey and trod. But the whole notion of disconnected from the sexual energy of the female is something that is alien to I and I. And within that alienation of the female, homosexuality goes on the rise. It happens in the prisons, it happens in the military, it happens in the church. So sexuality is a natural energy. It is positive when it's directed in a positive way. And it becomes negative when directed in a destructive way. So I must come to grips with our sexuality, realize that the female is the leader in our household. The matriarchy system was there, and it has been overwhelmed by patriarchy. And in its patriarchal framework now, it is a white male that becomes the leader. So we have been deeply uprooted and still under attack. Our identity, our sexuality, our culture is our only salvation.
Oh yeah, when them a go so, come Africans, let us fight for our right. Fight, fight.
We need not fight with guns or even fight with knives. Africans, let us all unite. It's the only way to defeat the enemy. Make them a go so good.
We have to organize and reorganize at the level of family, African people. This nuclear thing is blowing up on us. We have to resurrect the extended family structure. We have to resurrect polygamy. The sister recognized it in our discussion that it was very workable. As long as the women and the man them recognize the responsibility and the wealth that it requires to keep a unit developing. In other words, we have to return to the traditional way, the cultural way, within this attack of our sensibilities in this present dispensation. We have to re-examine our unity. Maybe it's about time, since all of these people are coming out of the closet with their sexual orientations, maybe the man them with the several women and the women with the several men them need to come out of the closet. Maybe we need to clarify our relations once again. That, in other words, then, what really is the problem with a woman having two different men? Never ask Cassidy that. Cassidy, you have a problem with that? You think a woman, it's wrong if a woman have two different men? Is it wrong for a man to have two women? Man can have two. But what I say about the woman? Woman can have two. But you hear me I say no. Me I say, make her even it up. Make everybody allowed to have two. And everybody bring them out into the open. I think that's what break enough tension, Yeah, where the hide and seek finish. And there's a sort of community development plan. Serious thing. Because in reality, there are women who have more than one man, and there's men who have more than one woman. But we need some clarity. We like the woman they meet each other and recognize that man they them deal with. And likewise, if two men know say that woman they them deal with, they must say, "Watch me now, brethren. As she will deal with, But my brethren shaking me, they say, "No, no, no." Yes, it's all about ownership. It's all about reorganization. It's about reorganization of the black family. And the female is at the center. There are cultures, where in the society there are more men than women. In such a society, polygamy is operational. The woman is allowed to have more than one husband, usually two. And the subject and the struggle is not over sex. So I'm saying I propose now, maybe we need a law amongst ourselves now where we say no man no allowed no more than 3 women. No more than 3 women. And any more than three, the 3 of them must run left him. They must organize and overthrow him. We have to re-establish a system that will bring some stability to our development, maintain the unity of the male and the female, and provide some form of security for the offspring. Yeah, we have to reconstruct the African family system.
Emmanuel, you might go chance them to when them take it from Africa, we never have no criminal record. I know they take it go and bring. Starting point, Marcus give you a profit first, man. Then they put. If you have a clean record, passport, a visa, you can't pass them port. So we don't come here for no visa and no passport. We don't come here for no visa and no passport. Ebola we come down here for the same boat. Ebola we come down here for the same boat. We don't come here for no visa and no passport. We don't come here for no visa and no passport. All Google have to run like a same boat. Ebola we come down here for the same boat. The police and soldier, all the commissioner, the nurse and doctor, the judge and lawyer. Also the governor general and prime minister. The whole of it come down here for the same boat. Rise up, oh mighty ways. Rise and take your stand again. My people still cutting through the game. Babylon, them and use them brain. No change on our feet, but we are not free. Living in this outdoor.
In 1791, France became the first nation to decriminalize homosexuality. Yes, in 1791, France became the first nation to decriminalize homosexuality. It's not an African thing.
No come up on no visa, no passport. So like a staff public and the same boat. The whole of we come down up on the same boat. So get it for England, so get it for America, so get it for Canada, so get it for Jamaica. 450 years of slavery round here. Africa away it is created. No come up on no visa, no passport. No come up on no visa, no passport. The whole of we come down up on the same boat. All we come down here on the same boat. We no come here on no visa, no passport. We no come here on no visa, no passport. But double of you run like a steamboat. The whole we come down here on the same boat. Take it from we are. We never have the criminal record. But when they take it from we are, never have no criminal record. No. We no come here on no visa, no passport.
Yeah, African people, majority of I in this hemisphere didn't come across here with any official documentation. It's uprooting and violence. And in that brutality through the Middle Passage, there is no time for any type of thinking outside of our survival. Within the thinking of our survival, copulation, procreation, remain an essential part of staying alive. So we can't afford to bring that process to any end. Psychologically, economically, politically, spiritually. The male and the female within African tradition are not opposites. The way the Christian scripture talks about man being opposite of woman. And I are complementary beings. And any attack upon that complementarity will be rejected in the strongest of terms. And these groups, these lesbian, gays, and bisexuals and transgender, collectively now are forming an attack on the very sensibilities and the foundations of I. It's all disguised behind tolerance. But tolerance has a certain limit. And the limit of tolerance now rests upon the framework of the culture that holds us. And it's not about a Christian culture. It's about a culture of black survival. It's about a culture of collectivity. And this is what is under assault. So Rastafari never usually engage in some of these type of discussions because we usually say that these are the ways of Babylon. But even the language needs to be adjusted because these are the ways of Sodom and Gomorrah. These are the ways of Rome. Babylon built, out of Babylon, entire European civilization was created. So the Bible only gives you the negative aspects of Babylon, and so we condemn ourselves the way we condemn Egypt. The issue is about behavior of the Romans. And it is this Roman behavior, this Greco-Roman behavior, that is now being forced upon I and I as African people in this dispensation. Nothing to do with Babylon. It is a Greco-Roman ideology. And in this Greco-Roman ideology, males and males can frolic and create orgies and engage in all sorts of behaviors. I is African Rastafari.
you can. Keep me in daydream. Keep me going strong. You don't want to save me. Sad is the song. When you believe in things you don't understand, can you stop it? Superstition is the way. Yeah.
Yeah, this is a segment that we call Deconstructing Myths and Allegories and Fables and Nursery Rhymes. Devices of literature that impose their own way of viewing Alpa 9999. Rubber Dub Dub. 3 men in a tub. The butcher, the baker, candlestick maker. 3 men in a tub. What is it they're telling us in the nursery rhymes? Rubber Dub Dub. 3 men in a tub. The butcher, the baker, candlestick maker. What are they up to? We say no to buggery. So the Christian church is upset that those people who claim that it is normal for men to engage in sexual activity with other men and animals, it leaves a whole heap of questions open within the moral dimensions of our own experience. One of the questions that we have to ask is the nature of man. Is man really a sexual being? The way some cultures would like us to believe. Is the African man a sexual being? Is the African man a spiritual being? We have also been identified not only as beings but as animals, because we have been locked into a philosophy and a theory of the Europeans that people actually evolve out of the primates. So with this type of European philosophy of genesis and origin, this animal behavior is being used to justify these other type of sexual orientation that we're seeing today. That it is simply the animal in the man. But I know as African people outrightly reject this notion of African people coming out of animals. I hold on to the divinity of the word. And the word said, let us make African people. So there is no connection now to the animal kingdom from that perspective. Because of imagination and will and desire and intuition and these various brain forces, it separates man from the animal kingdom. And I have thought process, and I have imagination, and I have feelings that can be directed and redirected. So we're looking at the mythology. The mythology pushed through this Christian scripture. And within that mythology now, we have to search for justification, for behavior, sexual behavior. Christians must turn to the Bible, and in their quest and search for the Bible, they realize that there are verses that speak in condemnation of homosexuality, of bestiality, and of various unnatural sexual practices. So the Christians also feel upset at incest, because the very first story of the Bible speaks about incest. Adam and Eve and Cain and Abel is a story of incest. But there's no great cry out, because in real terms, the metaphor of the story is sufficient. The practicality of it is left alone. And so the Christians can deal with that as a sin. But when you begin to attack and address the fundamentals of the family, this is not just about Christianity now. This is about black family. And black family needs male and female to be related. It's unfortunate though that in the brainwashing that the African people, black people generally, were shifted from the matriarchal structure, even in our religious ideology, and pushed onto the patriarchal. In other words, we have been locked into the Father God imagery. We have been locked into the male Father God imagery. And in being locked into that imagery now, we have been disconnected from the female God entity. So rather than giving thanks to the Father, I and I should be speaking about the Almighty Mother. Rather than talking about Eternal Father, I and I should be speaking about Eternal Mother. When we begin to bring the Mother more into the divinity, then all those who are challenging us, I and I, at the physical level about sexuality, we simply have to run away. Yeah, because it is the power of the female that will help to define the stability of African family. Yeah, Metamorphosis. So the question is now within the world searching for I and I self now, you know. We have been over 2,000 years, we have been conditioned to accept the belief that there is one supreme being. This has been the teaching, that there is one supreme being. And that religions are just part of this one. And I want to say to the item now, within this one supreme being construct, why does that one being have to be identified as he? Why does the one supreme being have to be a male and a white male in imagery? I am saying let us re-examine that whole one supreme being idea and look at it from the level of gender. And why should that one supreme being be a female? One mother of all creation. So when African people begin to recognize the mother of creation, the divinity of the mother, yeah, the foundation as the mother, and begin to give respect to the cosmic female, we begin to shift the balance and begin to recenter ourselves in the way we ought to be thinking. So we have to tell them now, this one concept of a one supreme being could be multiplied. And within the African tradition, we always knew about the many. So what is so difficult about embracing many supreme beings? Why are we forced to accept this one above all? It's a power struggle. It's something established by the European framework. When the Europeans came into Africa, there is no one supreme God anywhere. There are multiple of gods and goddesses right across the pantheon of African cosmologies. We've all been locked into this one God, and this one God looked like a white man. And beyond the one God concept now, we have been tied into his son. And it is the son of this one God that has captivated the imagination of so many black people and so many women. We have to re-examine it. We don't need a one God concept to liberate us. We need to return to the concept of many gods and goddesses, the pantheon that we knew, and liberate ourselves and free ourselves from that one bucky master. Yeah. And in one strike, all those strange groups will also evaporate. So the Church of Jamaica and the hundreds of thousands of people have come out to reject and to resist against this attempt to remove the laws of buggery from the books of Jamaica. So much effort is being put to remove these laws. We want half of that effort put to remove the laws of that keep ganja on the books. Yeah, that law is more uplifting, and removing that law will be liberating the economy and the Jamaican people. But we find that these forces are great powers in terms of economics and politics. So these gay rights movements is not just about their sexual orientation. They have a political agenda. And it was very obvious now recently what happened at the University of the West Indies. The professor was fired and ultimately had to be rehired. And then we hear about the Jamaican for Justice, who are pushing literature that is promoting anal and oral sex as normal. Some serious war being fought to capture the minds of our youths. And who would benefit? Who would benefit when our 12 and 13-year-olds begin to reject what we call natural sex? and lose interest in procreation. What will happen 50 years down the road? What is going to happen to our population? There have been several attempts to reduce the population of the black people globally. There are many people who think that there are too many black people on the planet Earth and not enough white people. Much campaign has been fought to wipe out and to eliminate the black population. Wars and drugs and all sorts of devices. Now it has gotten to the level of philosophy. And the attack now is in the psychic. And we need to be alert and be vigilant. Yes, the black people in the church have awoken to this attack. It's not just about being Christian now. It's about being black. It's about being African. It's about black culture. Yeah, procreation is really the highest form of creation.
They say the sun and I shine for all, but I in some people world it never shine at all. They say love is a stream that will find its course. Some people think that life is a dream, so they making matters worse. But no matter what the crisis is, no matter what the crisis is, doing it. Giving it.
So the gay lobby now have money power. The gay lobby has money power. The lobbyists are people them now who go around and they influence the media and they involve in street marches. This is what the lobbyists do. But the gay lobby seem to have improved their power base, particularly since the 1990s and coming onward. Something has happened in this globalization context. Suddenly now this is becoming a force to direct countries and policies. They say that they have come out of the closet, but it is more than coming out of the closet. They have seemed to organize themselves into some form of government and imposing their will on other countries and connecting loans and granting of aids to accepting the lifestyle of gays and homosexuals and lesbians and transvestites. That's a very serious switch from the 60s. Very serious switch when they were just claiming that they wanted to be respected. We see now it has gone from respect now to the demand for power. And when they reach a level of power, I must begin to take heed. Because the power now is going to trickle into our households, into our families. The way the attempt now is being made to push this literature through high school books. So there is actually a campaign on. Our artists have felt the wrath of this gay lobby. Latest artist was Queen Ifrica. Was removed from a stage show. So these people now are censoring what you can think and what you can say. Different kind of police, different kind of bullyism, driven by money. We have heard even the United States President, and we have heard the English Prime Minister say that countries like Jamaica must relax their sodomy laws, or else they will find it difficult to get loans. They must keep them money and them loan, and we must move towards self-reliance and development of the hemp industry. Because so we can save ourselves from the men them, you know. It's money them have, money we don't have. We can create our money by creating hemp. The hemp industry is the key to our money. We can run with the IMF and run away all of these groups and lobbies. So that the country is under siege. And there are a lot of these groups lined up on the outside waiting to rush Jamaica. But it's a yard now. Tell the people them inside and outside, you know. It's as long as Rastafari upon this base, and as long as the people them in the church recognize that this behavior is not natural, this is no place for those people. And you have to take it somewhere else. Yeah, you have to take it somewhere else and glorify it in other places. But you see the rock here? We not take that. And as much as we may appear to be poor, and as much as we may appear to be violent, we have a culture that we're going to embrace. And in that culture, we reject the old notion of buggery. It is unnatural.
Make you want to move your dancing feet to the rescue. Here I am. Want you to know where I
Let me hear them Splash 94 out there in New Jersey who are locked in early. And give thanks to the other persons who are also on the network, Facebook, in cyberspace, part of the Metamorphosis. Hail the people on the land right here in Port Antonio, Lancy up in Chatova, Patrick up in Norwich Heights, and Dirks and the man in Central and East and West Portland, North and South St. Mary, all across this island, into the islands and the Caribbean. Hail up all the people who are listening to the Metamorphosis. People in Africa, on the North American continent, yeah, Europe, UK, Australia, all places mentioned who are linked to Styles FM and to the Metamorphosis. Dr. Iman Blak saying, hail to all naturality. You know, there's a genuine query about how the church just suddenly rise up against this one. You know, people have been using all sorts of intellectual queries to ask, why is it the church didn't march against incest? Why is it the church didn't march against certain other type of behavior? Because the behaviors in the Bible, a lot of them are really crooked, you know. You see, where a man like David now take away a man's wife, send a man to his death on the battlefront, and take away his wife. All them kind of behavior there. Grudgefulness and covetousness. But you see, this act now to attempt to reconstruct masculinity and femininity and to redirect the nature of what a family is, it goes beyond Bible. It goes into the DNA of African people. This is not a Bible response. This is a response about survival. It's an attack upon our own. It's a challenge, or it's what they call facing extinction. And once you face extinction, you have to rebel. You have to revolt. That's about survival. It goes beyond survival. So this lobby, this gay lobby, I have had quite a bit of experience with these people at the ground level. I've had to deal with students who are international students who come with their different orientations and their different lifestyles. But I understand tolerance, and I've been exercising tolerance for decades. But you get to a point where when things are now shoveled up and pushed in your face, And you're told that you have to sniff this. And you have to taste this. Hey. Yeah, man. There must be resistance. It becomes an affront to your personality to have to accept alien practices as normal and natural. Our resurrection and our fortitude rest in our culture. And the ancients of black culture don't lean us towards same-sex behavior. It's a Western construction. It's a behavior that is learned, socially learned. Obviously, we have hormones, and people can have more or less of each type of hormone. Makes you maybe have an affinity to be male or female, but it doesn't lead you to having to impose that orientation on society and to force students and young people to accept. There's nobody going around forcing people to accept heterosexuality. So why do homosexuals feel that they must have a campaign? Something is wrong.
Hey, are you ready? You ready? All right. All right, let's go. Do you know what time it is? Do you know what time it is? Yes, it's on a Saturday. Every Saturday morning, live on Styles 96.1, the People Station. Here's an invitation to join yours truly, Colin Anthony, the man with all the money on it. The program is called Smooth Sailing. Every Saturday morning from 9 o'clock until 1 on the p.m. It's gonna be on Styles FM 96.1. Have you got a plan? Oh, you've got a plan? We've got a plan. Do remember to join us. Smooth Sailing.
Architects, draftsmen, and surveyors, get your drawings printed in high-quality professional standards. We can satisfy your printing needs. Whether it is for presentation to your clients or for submitting building and subdivision application, make it VJ Printing Services. Whether drawing by hand or with computer-aided softwares, we will plot your negatives and print the copies as you need. We do high-quality white paper printing that is water-resistant and never fades, unlike traditional blueprint. For more information, call VJ Printing at 893-2266.
With Styles FM on the go, you can listen to your favorite programs by calling the USA number 213-992-4360. If you're in the UK, is 033-0010-3322.
Planning a party, club night out, stage show, a gospel concert, or even a business sales event? Let Styles FM be a part of your promoting tool. Take advantage of our low-priced promotion packages with commercials, interviews, giveaways, reviews, and much more. We have special offers when you mix and match and bundle your options. Contact us at 876-286-9216 or 439-5160. Styles FM, for the most effective way to exploit your marketing dollar.
Yeah, we're into the Afrocentric views and NEWS news as it happens around the globe. You know, sitting this far away from the United States makes me even that much further away from a place like Iraq. But I can clearly remember the war in Iraq and the bringing down of the Saddam Hussein statue and the excitement of mission accomplished, and the Bush-Cheney era of destroying the anciency of Baghdad, destroying the culture of the Iraqi people in a search for invisible weapons of mass destruction, weapons that were never found, weapons that were never made. And in that destruction of the Iraqi people, the wealth was pillaged and the real struggle was over oil. And we would assume that the Americans achieved their objective. They were able to separate up the Iraqians, the Sunni there and the Shiite there, and all sort of destruction and devastation took place. And Iraq was wrecked to the ground. Now we're seeing a few years later, the American presidency now is being led by Barack Obama. And Obama had come on the scene to sort of change the face of American imagery. That war vibration that was created by Bush and Cheney, it was Obama's task to appease the world and give America its place again, place of honor. Remember now, an Iraqi journalist took off his shoes and fling it at a Bush head, and Bush duck. That is the lowest level that any American head of state has ever reached. And it's the lowest level America has ever reached as a country. I mean, they're celebrating their independence today. But on that day in Iraq, Americans were the lowest people on the planet. So the whole regime change in America was to remove the image of Bush and Cheney, to replace him with somebody that would appear to be more moderate. Of course, it was time for the mixed race man. So Obama was brought into the White House, and the real evidence of his blackness was within his wife, Michelle. Michelle has been the constant black force in that White House. But we find happening now that America now seems to be drawn back into Iraq, and that the war in Iraq has resurrected itself. Greater forces now at work. America has to be consulting with Iran, of all places, and there's an attempt to return American soldiers into Iraq. Of course, Obama, in his ratings, they're going lower and lower. Obama now is being rated as the worst president America has ever seen. And this is the legacy America wants him to leave the White House with. That black people would never have any positive images of their quote-unquote first black president. A serious thing going on in the world, and it's all about propaganda. It's all about a campaign to discredit the black people wherever they are represented in the highest level. So the president is under siege. America is about to re-enter the Middle East. I mean, we thought that they were finished with Afghanistan. We thought they were finished with Iraq. But apparently there is no end to the war. And more soldiers will be committed again. And more money will be made. And the machine will continue. Then of course, while we remain distracted by this World Cup football, the Palestinians have now come under the wrath again of the Israelis. 3 little boys were found, the bodies were found, and the Prime Minister automatically claimed it was done by the Palestinians, and now the war is on again. And of course, all of this is happening without any sort of ease up. It's all about power. Israel and America is the same force. And Israel has determined by the Bible that they are the rightful people of that land. Of course, we know it is the Pope who is going to be calling to be the peacemaker. Part of the pattern to resurrect the Pope as the supreme being on the land. Yeah, the Pope is supposed to be the vicar of representing Jesus the Christ. So it is him that the world is going to call upon now to bring peace. What a trick. Then you know the Pope himself now has decided to give blessings to some people who we call exorcists. Yeah man, some 30 priests in some various countries now the Pope decided to give them the right and bless them in their exorcising of the devil. So it's all about the machinations of the Roman Catholic Church. That they have constructed this thing called the devil. And the devil exists within the meditation of the people. The devil is always black. The devil always represents evil. And now the Pope is actually validating this fiction by giving a group of priests authority to be exorcists. I tell you man, and people are spooky. So 250 priests in 30 countries have been blessed by the Pope to perform exorcism, that they can remove devils. What the heck is this all about, eh?
All you seem to care about is the money that you take. Then deceive the people with your tricks. Now look what you create. And now we all are paying for it because of your mistake. Leaders of the world, you don't care about the people.
The leader of the world that we must pay attention to now is the Pope, you know, because the Pope has come to reconstruct and reset up the slave system at the ecclesiastical and psychological level, you know. For watch that Francis character. Yeah, because remember no, it's a papal system led the enslavement of African people, you know. We should never, ever lose sight of that consciousness. It is the Jesuits and the papal say. That's why the original Rastaman used to burn the Pope. It was to burn the Vatican. It grieved me to see my intelligent cultural brethren them a burn Babylon, not recognizing that Babylon is a construction of African people. Babylon is a foundation that give Europe all its knowledge, astronomy and science and technology. But you and I get converted into this Bible story. All things that are negative of I and I are put across in that Bible. So we born Egypt, we born Pharaoh, and we born Babylon. And all them born in there, we born our own culture, we born our own self. So make awaken ourselves to consciousness of being an African. And the battle continues against Rome. Fire upon the Vatican. The IMF chief was here, Madame Lagarde. Enough things she have to say. Come big up and praise up all those who are leaders here. Telling them that they're on the right track. The track is taking the population down Hell's Creek. And we get praises from the IMF. It's serious.
More oppression to the have-nots is how you play your hand. Forward fighting is the writing from those who say they know. And if that's true, we know just who.
So the devaluation will continue. It may go down from 112, it may go further to 120. We may see 130, we may see 150. And the IMF leader says we are on the right track. Towards what?
We in the ghettos, you playing us too close. The jobless and hungry, you playing us too close. Filling up more and more with frustration, you playing us too close. We're losing our patience, so take heed and you let it be known that I told you today. You're playing us much too close, yeah. Bible, you don't want to obey, but you're writing your own ticket to the price you will pay. Yeah, us you hold back, but the drawback is not to us alone. Time will make you to a victim before you see the wrong, and the melody that you are playing is in the wrong. Or just quiet that sings out to all live in world harmony. And I just gotta say, you're playing us too close. Hey, we in the ghettos, you're playing us too close. Red, black, white, brown, and yellow for people, you're playing us too close.
So the IMF chief says Jamaica's on the right path and in that right track. We find that prices of food are rising. We find that transportation is rising. We find that utilities are rising. We find that the taxes are increasing. And we are on the right track. Towards what?
Yeah. No, when I was just a little boy, my grandfather used to say to me,
yes, I wonder what my grandfather used to tell him when he was a boy. Yeah, we see we're facing some serious crises in this moment. And it's all about the economics, it's all about the social aspects of ourselves. The pressure is increasing on the population. Right now, everybody just has been handed some paper that they must pay property tax. And there's a serious campaign. Years ago, there was a campaign called a back tax axe. And it seems as if taxation is the way that all governments in Jamaica use to increase revenue. There are no plans and policies to create production, because production requires intelligence and stamina and stick-to-itiveness. So it's left up to the people to produce what they can. What is it the people can produce? The people can produce things that are agricultural. But the people need support in building the link between agriculture and industry. And I will continue to say that the liberation will come through the industrialization of the ganja hemp. So those who are campaigning for the legalization of ganja right now, them creating a smoke screen. And that smoke screen is blinding the real vision that we can for seeing money and wealth out of the industrialization of the hemp. So We're not getting any solutions from government. We get things like cassava. And we get things like, we can't even think of any more things. Yet the ganja plant, the hemp, the non-smoking ganja plant is the foundation to our wealth. Why can't we not see it? Why can't our farmers and the Rastaman them recognize that we can't fight this smoking issue? The legalization of ganja has nothing to do with the liberation of black people. Money. It's all about manufacturing and large companies controlling the market. We want to be free to grow hemp. We want support in putting infrastructure to transform hemp into paper, into cloth, into oil, into some basic fabrics and fibers that will lift the meditation of this nation. It will encourage youth to leave the inner cities and to take up lands and to farm hemp. So there is no way we can get away from the IMF and Madame Lagarde and her high-speaking visits. Because in Jamaica, there's a thing called underemployment. And underemployment is sometimes even worse than unemployment. Because underemployment drains the energy. And you spend hours sitting, selling 2 bananas, 3 cigarettes, and ice cement. And you are convinced that you are self-employed. That is a level that we call underemployment. And that's what is killing this economy. When they free the people, free up them hours, make it productive, into the fields, farming, hemp is the economic solution.
Equal rights and justice for all. Rise and never fall. Tell them, say, boom. What they gonna do when enough of them not true? Say, what they gonna do, them get slow, yeah. Who do you think you are? We're living in a small world. As wicked as you think you are, we're living in a small world. As bad as you think you are, we're living in a small world.
Now in a country like Jamaica that is being labeled as one of the most violent places on the planet, we hear that the Commissioner of Police has decided to call it a day. He has gone on his vacation and he has decided not to return to the job. This is the top cop resigning under all sort of unknown reasons, all left to guessing. And when you leave the Jamaican people to guess, say it done. So we have not heard any official response from the commissioner as to why him really give up the seat. And we know that the country is struggling to maintain its discipline and in the force. We know that there are reports of hit squads in the police force, death squads, and all sorts of things unfolding. And nobody knows exactly why is it the commissioner resigned. He's still a young man, and perhaps he has given enough time to one section. But officially, I think it's only correct that we wait until the commissioner comes from his holiday and will tell the press. He's a public servant and he owes the society an explanation as to why would he give up the battle in the middle of this struggle. Are there things that we should know that we don't know? Again, we only speculate until we hear officially from the commish. But it's a significant transformation and a change, and we don't know what it's going to lead to, but stability is what we need, irrespective of the change in leadership.
When I stand and see all those wicked men in the fire getting burned, that day will come when they will try to escape and there will be nowhere to run.
Rastafari go get rocky. Me say me never give up. I said there ain't no giving in. And when the going get tough, I said the tough get going. And my people don't give up. I said there ain't no giving in. No, Rastafari guide I and I from the beginning. Oh, oh, oh. A lot of youths in life say them can't take the pressure no more. Go, 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 go. But from your trust in a demo style life, I go get better, I'm sure. The youth juggle on the roadside, Babylon say fi take up your bag and go. Boy, but we still not give up. Me say we solid as a rock like a lunge. Not give up. I said there ain't no giving in. And when the going get tough, I said the tough gets going. One juggle.
What's coming now? What a beautiful goal from Salah. El Rey. The way that Maradona has been able to do. And he's hurting England again here. This is a brilliant run. It's one of the World Cup great goals. Set.
They get away first time. Tyson Gay right alongside Usain Bolt, but here he goes. Streaking away already. It's Bolt all the way. He's looking round at Gay. Watch the clock. It's goal for Bolt. And again, he's done it again.
When I get older, I will be stronger. They'll call me freedom, just like a waving flag. Fire, give me reason, take me higher. See the champion, take the field down. Unify us, make us feel proud. In the streets, our heads are lifting as we lose our inhibition. Celebration, it surrounds us. Every nation.
Yes, it's sports and the metamorphosis, and of course, there's only one sport that we can speak of today. It's international football. It's the world at war, fighting over the ball. Where you see grown men chasing a bag of air all over the play field, kicking a bag of wind all over the play field. But within those kickings and movings, millions and billions of dollars also move. And I want the ones that pay attention to the venue, look around the play field, look at the advertisements, look at the billboards, look at the marketing, look at the advertising, even the players' uniforms. Look at everything. It's all about economics. It's all about money. This is the world's greatest stage for football. It's the greatest show on earth. First, there were 32 teams. As a matter of fact, first there were 212 nations. About 212 nations who were interested in getting to the World Cup. And we know that preparation begin 2 years before the tournament. In other words, eliminations are 2 years before the tournament. Now I just need to make a point about Jamaica and how we deal with World Cup. Now, for example, this World Cup here is 2014, which means the eliminations or the qualifications for this World Cup began in 2012. So it starts 2 years before. Now, what Jamaica has been doing, has been trying to prepare a team to qualify in 2 years. In other words, we have been trying to prepare a team to qualify for the World Cup every 2 years. We have not spent time trying to prepare a team to actually qualify. In other words, I'm saying to you, Jamaican people, we need to prepare our team 2 years before the qualifications. That when the qualification rounds begin, the team was already together for over 2 years. In other words, now we have it all wrong. We are trying to qualify in only a 2 year period, when the team to qualify had to be together for over 2 to 3 to 4 years. So first they were 32, and then they went down to 16, and then they went down to 8, and now they are battling to find the final 4. Now, this World Cup has been very exciting, very dramatic. And we have the first two semifinalists in Germany and Brazil. These are superpowers in the football. Now we're talking about the heavyweights, the real heavyweights in the whole world of boxing and football. So Germany has won the title a number of times. This is their fourth semifinal consecutively. Brazil is a 5-time world champion. So it will not get any stiffer at this point. The second set of games will be played tomorrow. Argentina will play Belgium and Holland will play Costa Rica. Now I definitely have lost the sentimental teams. My sentimental teams are falling apart. My sentimental teams were the African teams. My football team is the Dutch. So I'm calling the Dutch to overcome Costa Rica. And the Argentina and Belgium match could go anyway. But we'll go with Messi. And we're looking therefore at a German-Brazil semi-final and a Holland-Argentina semi-final. That is my call at this moment. So we end up with the real giants: Germany, Brazil, Argentina, and Holland. Holland, of course, were finalists in 74, in 78, and 2010. And my argument is that any team that beats the Dutch will win the cup. Of course, as Jamaican people now, we generally gravitate towards football that comes out of South America. And so much of this country is backing Brazil, and much of the country is backing Argentina. So when we look at the Jamaican scenario for the World Cup, we recognize it's really a South America versus European struggle. And the Jamaican people generally swinging with the South Americans. I think that, yeah, the clash will be the greatest. Contrasting styles, contrasting ideology, contrasting philosophy when Europe plays South America. So that is the type of final we think we're going to see. We're going to get a glimpse of it when Germany takes on Brazil, and we get a glimpse of it when Argentina plays Holland. And then, of course, any number can play at the top level. For our region here now, CONCACAF, we have to give respect to Mexico. They were unfortunately bundled out of the tournament by a European FIFA team. And of course, besides the Mexicans, we have had a very good performance of Costa Rica, who is still in the hunt. They must overcome the Netherlands to really get to the big show. And then there is United States. United States fell apart at the quarterfinal round. They lost to the Germans. You know, it's a very strange thing happening in America now, because America really is a superpower in the military and in the economics, but they cannot achieve that superpower status in world football. Up to this date, they're unable to do it. And much of America is not interested in world soccer because they are sort of oriented into hand-eye games, baseball and basketball and so on. Soccer is a much more difficult game for the Americans to appreciate of. But the Americans will never be a superpower in America in world football until they begin to really, let us say, upgrade their own leagues and get more international players to play in their league. The framework is good. They're going to be a very tough team to beat forever in CONCACAF. And they have set themselves up as a superpower in CONCACAF. To achieve that in the world is a whole different thing. The Americans are very proud people, very arrogant to an extent. They play baseball amongst themselves and declare themselves world champions. For football now, soccer, they can't do that. They have to overpower the traditional powers of soccer. And that is not a simple task. But we respect the Americans, respect Klinsmann and his effort. And what it has shown I is that Mexico, Honduras, Costa Rica, Central America has made a quantum leap away from the Caribbean football. They are playing football light years in terms of difference from Caribbean football. And I wonder really know where will Jamaica position itself at the end of this World Cup. We are really now light years from that main stage. Do you still need a president for life here in our football? I question that. Of course, you know, people who are listening to the Metamorphosis over there in St. Mary, Islington, Port Maria, going down the coast into St. Anne's, right across into Mobay and up into Westmoreland and over those hills into St. Elizabeth and Clarendon and St. Catherine, hailing all the people in Kingston, St. Andrews, St. Thomas, right here in Western Portland, Buff Bay people. Hail up to ones and ones there. Hail up to ones right here in Port Antonio, Titchfield Hill, Thomastown Road, all the various corners. Metamorphosis. Iman Blak. Hope you're thinking. Now, the gay community has tried to make their own inroads in the world of sports. Yeah, we hear about all gay football players now are being drafted. And in every sphere of life now, these people are pushing themselves up and making themselves very, very conspicuous. Yeah, we don't care about those things in the world of sports. You keep your orientation to thyself. And if you feel funny when you come in the locker room with men, you have to organize and control yourself. So we're moving within the natural order and within the world of sports. We know how it goes. And of course, it's a very unexplored area because a lot of things take place in those gatherings. Yeah, but the world of sports, we have to keep it as it is.
comfort in you. I will keep my heart as your faithful call. Love me with all of your heart. Oh yeah. I'm gonna dedicate my whole life loving you. That's not all that I will do. Oh baby.
It is not good to travel today, neither across the ocean. Deserts are dry, water thirsting you. Too good to travel today, neither to cross the ocean. Deserts are dry, water thirsting you. Kill you, kill you, kill you. Kill you, kill you. When it waits, it creates. When it down, it cramp your belly. Don't want to see you underground. Don't want to see you underground. The ground, the ground, the ground. Caution, my brother, caution, baby. Black soul, you black as day. So black, so black, so black, so black, so black. I'm proud, I'm black. I'm proud, I'm black. I'm rejoicing, I'm black. Who know black, not so black again. Who know black, not so black again. So black. My skin is black. So black. Oh, so black. Two more things for I to tell you right now. Two more things for I to tell you right now. Two more. My old great grandmother, great grandmother, mother. She's black.
Yeah, black skin. Ancient black skin is our culture. It is our biological makeup. It is the foundation of our psychology. Because our psychology is grounded in our biology. That is the nature of the black man. So there's a psycho-biological foundation to black people. And this biological foundation is really rests not in our brain, but rests in our skin. The skin, of course, being the first organ at conception. It is a covering. So within the black people, the covering is not just for protection of the internal. It's also as a variety of purposes. The covering, we're calling it the skin. So it prevents things from entering the body, and also pulls energy from the environment. We have a continue to speak about our black skin. It's not a normal skin. We have an outer skin called the epidermis. In other words, there are two skins. Epi means outer or over. So we have an outer skin. I want to spend just a little bit of time penetrating what our outer skin is about, how the outer skin works. If you slice the outer skin with a knife, there is no blood. In other words, it requires a very thin slice to cut the outer skin. But the outer skin of black people is special because the outer skin has the power full chemical called melanin. And this is in this outer skin that we develop this extrasensory perception. So we have ESP. The ESP of black people is not driven by brain waves. It's driven by the waves that come out of our skin. And the skin does vibrate as an organ and let off vibrations. And we can communicate through skin. Yeah, man, African people, we can communicate through skin, through vibrations, and through our feelings. So once we begin to recognize the power of our feeling, and that we can direct feelings out through our skin, and we can communicate vibrations through skin, then we improve our level of communication amongst one another. Right now, the skin has been disconnected. Yeah, man, the wires, them have been pulled up, and we have been turned around, and we have developed negative feelings now towards our own skin. So once you have negative feelings towards your own skin, the skin will not function properly. We have to change attitude, or we begin to embrace and have knowledge of the skin. So the black skin, the outer surface, has an extrasensory perceptual system. We have an extra nervous system in our outer skin. Everybody that is called human beings have an inner skin. So all human beings, you will say, have an inner skin. That you may cut that skin, blood run. But the African people are blessed with an outer skin. And it is this outer skin that is divine and keeps us united and protected. It makes us remain in harmony with the Almighty Sun in the heavens. So black skin is a special divine protection. Yeah, man, black skin. Same skin we have been told to hate, that I and I have been possessing from generations, thousands and thousands and thousands of years ago. We have also come to the consciousness to stop defining ourselves as African descendants. We are not descendants of Africans. We are African people. The descendants of a dog is a dog. We don't call the puppy a descendant of a dog. We say it's a dog. Why are we calling ourselves descendants of Africans? We are African people. Period.
My complexion is better than ever. Me nah go bleach it out, so it's better, yes, it's better than ever. Brown skin, I know for everybody, so bleaching you fit up it from you do that to your skin. That means say you no love yourself. Jah make you perfect, so no judge yourself. The person where you tell you say black now we're again insecure with themselves, so don't follow them. Me nah bleach, me no care if that a the trend. Proud to be black as a matter of fact. I am no white god, so don't teach me anything wrong. You want me dilute me color cause you think it too strong. Side effect of skin cancer, that's a 1+. Me don't want to look like no purple dragon. Alright then, I know everybody a robe. I know everybody a robe. Not because face and Jack and him brandy a robe. No means say everybody a robe. See you on the corner with your tuggy ways, but make you understand, make you go bleach out your face. Me dead of you when you're black, me not lie. But now when me see you, me just feel like we cry. In all my life I have never seen one skin red it blacker than Barbara Green. Get paler than Michael and Billie Jean. It's like you always celebrating Halloween. It might look like settings well nice and pretty, you know. Skin brown and not glisten, everybody a wow. But wait till tomorrow, the beginning of your sorrow. When your brain start melt, you come around. I know everybody a robe. I know everybody.
Yeah, we have to continue to speak to this whole destruction of black pigmentation, destruction of our black memory systems, destruction of our telementation probabilities. So we're taking the thing too light, claiming that we want to get light, when the power rests in the blackness. So the black people who are black and deeply black in their meditation must recognize that the skin is almighty. It is the keeper of our records. We send through genetic memory through the skin. We send through talents through the skin. So we have to preserve and protect the skin. Yeah, man, the skin is a divine covering, you know, particularly the melaninated skin. So it's no accident that the people of melanin are also closely connected to the sun. So the people who deciding to kill their melanin, think carefully what you're doing. And we have powers, you know. We have powers that are manifested through the skin. We can express feelings to the depth of desire. And once you begin to lack desire now, you know, you're going to have no action. Because desire is one of the driving forces that send black people into activity. We have to recognize the power where our feelings dwell. Our feelings have a foundation in our skin. Yeah, man, we have to respect the skin, elevate the consciousness of the skin, realize that the black skin is a special skin. It is created by nature. It is designed to protect. It is designed to give people power out of solar energy. It's designed to prevent us from have to be living on milk, because most African people are intolerant to lactose. So we get our vitamin D out of the sunshine. Yeah, man, we have to glorify and uplift the skin. And within the black population, there are shades of melanin. From the deepest black to the highest brown, it's all melanin. I just can't say how a man could give up the love of a black woman to love a male like himself. I don't think these things are possible. The feelings that are generated between male and female cannot be generated between male and male or between female and female. The chemistry does not there. The psychic chemistry does not exist. And so a lot of it is just fabrication. People trying to twist and turn their own feelings and then impose them as a general way of behaving. I have desire, I have will. I desire is not to be copulated with I own gender. That has never been the desire within our DNA construct. There's attraction and there's repulsion. And it's a natural for the male and the female to be attracted to each other. It is natural. So I'm not going to struggle with these groups trying to impose them ideology upon I. I realize the divinity of African relations, divinity of relating male to female. Iman also put fire upon Rome and that Greco-Roman philosophy of man being with man and female being with female and calling it some type of new normality. I too ancient and too much attracted to the black woman.
For her children, when Herod and Pharaoh took their little heads, but like Mary and like Joseph, the mother of Moses too, overcame man's evil devices.
the language that you use. Ensure a comprehension with the words them that you choose. Simplify a statement or attention you will lose unless you are intentionally trying to confuse. Cause I refuse to sit back and watch you hold the people down, floating in your top positions while the rest of them are drowned. Cause in the sentence of creation, all you are is just a noun. The verbs, action, words that put the power to the sound. And that's way beyond profound. When the wealth is for the few, they feel that there is no one they should have to answer to. So the things that they will say are not the things that they will do. Cause even after all the talk, the people still don't have a clue. But at least this much is true, information is the key. Yes, knowledge is the only way the people will be free. So it isn't just a choice, it's a responsibility to keep aware, so you can judge if what they say is what you see. Cause this one is a warning. Warning, warning, warning. A warning, warning, warning.
You have become a bunch of consumers. You are creators. Rise up, mighty people, accomplish what you will. Without confidence, you're twice defeated in the race of life.
Let's look away the voices that gave the people bright. Now we're plunging into darkness. We all have to play our part, make a bold start. Every district, tell every artist. Media houses, we notice, tell them support the slackness. How so much alcohol in our parties. While the girls are broke out at this upper where she drink, knock her out. Now she no care with them crap her up. It's times like these, I'm missing our heroes. Times like these, I really wish they were around. Shouldn't have to be like this. Marcus Garvey, we know so you try your best.
Of course, hailing up all essential workers, taxi drivers in particular, who keep the people moving through the night and the day. All the nurses here and abroad, all the firemen, all those who are concerned with security in the reality. Give thanks for being able to be part of this metamorphosis.
Chronics. In them see the performance. Enough people see me life and want one, but them no know say more time it look dormant. And them no see say I'm me belly me a crawl pan. Oh, come on, mama just call me with tears in her eyes. She never know me have a stage show tonight. Not even she see the fears in my eyes, but me just a go and put on the show. Cause they don't know, yeah.
Do you know social living is the best? 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 Takes behavior.
get along. Lots of behavior to get along. Do you really, really know that? Do you know?
Yeah, Metamorphosis coming into the final stages. Hope the ones them really thinking carefully now about this assault that I and as a people are under by alien forces trying to impose their sexual orientation on Panay. They distract I from the processes that create family and maintain nation and race. Serious moment. We have to unite now for our own survival, not as Christians, not as Jamaicans, but as African people, as black people. Times are crucial. No.
Do you know social living is the best? 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 Live good to right the fight up time.
Hail up Ras Makonnen, hail up Ras Ostaboda, hail up Ras Jangai, hail up Rastafari University of Higher Life Learning. July 19th, Port Antonio Library. Tell you more about it. In the meantime, and between time, stay fine. Metamorphosis, Iman Blak saying, keep the vibes, keep the meditation, keep the unity between the male and the female, and hold the children under your charge. Prosperity within the home, within the workplace, within the pockets where we need it most. Iman Blak, out.
This brother, gold and green train. Oh yes, we are golden.
No to buggery, no to Saddam. Pro-life, pro-life, anti-sodomy, Rastafari live.
We are golden, we are golden, we are golden.